Yo, what's going on, homies? It's your boy Stump back from the OPTC video, and in today's video, we've cracked the 1 trillion mark for the Super Boss 6+ Soba mask. And in today's video, I have two teams that utilize the boosted characters that both hit 1 trillion damage. Now, I had to change a few things from my prep video for the boosted base teams. I did forget about the fact that the unit placement matters when it comes to bind, and having the Hina effect needing the attack and orb boost. And then with the I can't remember the other one. Might be this one, Dex one, or Strength one. The one where I was using Zoro Kaku's friend captain. I decided to switch it up and use New Year's Luffy. His ability to just give a territory, increased damage taken, weakening. It's just way too valuable. So I made him work with Zoro and Kaku as leader. And lucky for me, the Jabra support is actually really, really good. So I did max out 2 of the anniversary exclusive characters, but look, Zoro Kaku is pretty much the only one that you need to sort of hit the 1 trillion damage mark. But these teams, like, they do so much goddamn damage that hitting 1 trillion is it's really not that challenging if you have the boosted characters, especially for the strength variation. The strength variation does seem to be a lot easier than the one with the captain swap. But with that said, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you do, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff. And with that said, let's dive in. Alright, so we're going to start it off with the strength fights. I believe this is the strength one. That was the team, those are the supports. Let's dive on in. Now, this one is the team where the team actually didn't change. I just had to use a bunch of supports to maximize my bind removal and my damage output. Now, the ship is a level 12,000 Sunny coated vessel. However, you don't need the 1,000 Sunny coated vessel. It's going to give you more damage, don't get me wrong, but it also gives you 2 turns of bind removal. Now, if you have the free-to-play pudding, I don't know, there's a free-to-play Reiju support on Sanji. That's going to get around 1 turn of bind, and then you can just use any ship that gives 1 turn of bind like the Zoro ship. Now, I started as Zoro here. You want to start as Kaku, so that way you get the super switch and all that fun stuff ready to go for the final stage. Not that it matters too much. You can still hit a trillion without it, which is hilarious, but if you do want to do more damage, then you do want Kaku to start the quest, because for some reason, Zoro's a free super slasher. The shooter characters are the ones that get the cooldown, so obviously Zoro isn't a shooter unless you are in the dual form. So on turn 2 there is that Tandem barrier. You can just use the switch of Luffy on that stage. The super type of Khalifa will basically tank that 80% HP cut. You won't have to worry about that. And then on the final stage against Soba Mask, he gives you paralysis on your top row middle right, bind on your bottom row middle left, and then 6 turns of a chain coefficient reduction. He has 3 turns of resilience as well. With this particular stage, this is where I was like, you just use Hina and you're good. But ideally, you want to have an attack and an orb boost before using Hina. So you really want to make sure you can switch with Zoro and Kaku in their super swap to get the attack and orb buff. So that way, Hina is actually giving you the attack, orbs, and that perfect barrier hit. I slapped on the Koyoshiro support on Zoro Kaku, so that way we can get around the resilience. This way we don't have to deal with the perfects. It's really not needed. Like, you just got to hit 3 perfects, and you can remove it with Luffy Lucci's captain, provided you hit your perfects with the right-hand column, being the barrier pen units. Nevertheless, it's not going to matter all that much. Sanji's giving base stats. He's giving a bigger chain boundary as well, which is awesome. Sabo can increase the base stats. He gives the end of turn healing, so that way your friend captain Luffy can give a conditional buff to increase damage taken, and a very nice 3 times increased damage taken buff, as well as getting the Gear 5 variation, very simply with all the EX supers that we have on this particular team. And that way you can actually get the weakening effect that Gear 5 Luffy provides as well. On top of that, you have Sabo for the additional class damage at 3 times. You have a chain boost, chain boundary, attack boost, orb boost, perfect tap, 2 conditional buffs, set target, weakening, increased damage taken. You name it, this team's got it, man. Like, it's got so many things going for it. You have a massive rush, a massive super tandem, and a massive final tap in either both Luffy and Lucci, or the Gear 5 New Year's Luffy, who can increase the increased damage taken by 0.5 as well. So lots and lots of damage there. So really, really good stuff. Rush with Sanji, and then move into Luffy and... No, not Luffy and Lucci. Into Zoro Kaku, into Luffy Lucci. Remember, Luffy and Lucci aren't... Zoro Kaku aren't getting the fighter territory, so that's something to note. But as you can see there, like, it's a plenty of damage, man. It's plenty of damage. So 1 trillion damage. There is a way to sort of like try and 2-tone this as well. You're not really going to get that much damage, extra damage output, but I do think that there is a world where you could like run some other buffs or drop some buffs back and get some more damage output with some different specials or some different units there. Alright, on to the Dex variation now. This one's definitely the spiciest. This one has some very annoying shenanigans that a lot of people are going to struggle with. Mainly the captain swap. The captain swap on turn 2, and on top of that, the enemy is weak to shooters, not fighters, which means that Sabo is actually off the cards, unfortunately. There's a whole bunch of despair on this fight as well, special reverse, the super swap reduction, like there's a whole bunch of nasty shit you guys have to deal with. And this is where the Jabra support came in clutch. This is the team I completely changed to bring in the New Year's Luffy. The Jabra support's awesome because as long as your unit is the captain, Jabra will actually extend the conditional buff that is inflicted on turn 2. And with Zorokaku, you can actually extend that and just completely nullify their huge design flaw where they get 5 turns at the start and then the preemptive brings them down to 4. So it works out really nicely, and that way you can carry that conditional buff into the final stage and not have to worry about super swapping with them on turn 1. So fun stuff. On turn 2, you want to make sure that you use the captain shift of Luffy Lucci. I'm using the pseudo double special activation of Nami to remove the damage reduction, as well as giving us a perfect tap at 0.5 for this stage and the next. Plus she goes into the Lulu EX, and she's got the VV support, so she can get a little bit more damage output with that resistance down. On the final stage, you get special reverse for 3 turns, but obviously with Luffy and Lucci as captain, you can bypass that. Your captain gets a super block orb, everyone else gets tandem, block, and then you get despair, special bind. There's a whole bunch of nasty shit. Obviously, you can't use color affinity just like the last one, and it's very, very frustrating. So we're going to use the special of Luffy Lucci to remove the special blinds, and then you can use their EX to rotate all of the orbs. On top of rotating the block orbs, they actually rotate the super block orb on themselves as well, so that way you get a full board of tandem slots. They also give you a conditional buff for paralysis and delay, which obviously Khalifa can give those conditions. You ideally want to use the Ace special first though. Something I goofed in this particular video is utilizing the Ace special first is going to give you a higher orb boost. Plus it's a 2-turn orb boost, which means that you can actually 2-turn burst for this particular turn as well. However, the team, like the damage is just the second stage, like the second phase of the final stage. It's just you're getting like peanut damage, man. But like at least you can do it, right? For this video, I completely stuffed up. Ace is pretty much just here for the rush. Another character you guys can bring is like Rush Sanji with the Mistim support. He'll definitely work too. Khalifa's going to give the attack boost, orb boost, and the perfect buff. We have the new support to get around the despair, and then we can utilize our New Year's Luffy for the weakening effect and the increased damage taken. Remember, you can't apply conditional buffs on this particular variation, so that's why Luffy Lucci and Zorokaku are just so valuable for this particular fight. It's just very, very frustrating to have to bring both of them. Luffy Lucci is definitely the one that has shocked me in terms of being the most valuable because of the captain shift and all that fun stuff. But look, here we are. So with this, you got some resistance down. You've got increased damage taken, weakening effect, attack orbs, chain boost, 2 conditional buffs, rush, super tandem, final tap. Yeah, you guys get the gist. You pretty much got it all. So this is with the level 5 everything though, so just be mindful of that. But I have seen that the damage numbers, they do go up pretty nicely, and can be easily hitting. You can easily be easily hitting a trillion with some other variations like utilizing S Snake over Nami and bursting turn 2, utilizing Rush Sanji with the Mistim support. That can also work too. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, the like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff. It's another month, another super boss, and another trillion damage. Hopefully they'll one day remove the damage cap at some point in our lifetime, but until then we'll just have to deal with the 1 trillion damage. Most importantly, if you guys are in this beautiful world, please enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Later!